The story so far.
Before you know it, waves overwhelm the Viola. Dave, you are alone.
I'm going to start making a fire.
Between you and a pile of firewood and kindling.
It's an angry Polynesian pig.
Ellen, there are 2 crocodiles menacing your group. 1 year ago, 4 colleagues of yours were working aboard the cruise ship Prospero. When the ship sank, they were washed up on a remote island. Strat and Josh. The sun is beating down and you don't have access to fresh water.
We need shelter.
They were washed up on a remote island. 3 of the 4 came back.
Life's a game, the world's a stage, and we're all merely players.
So we've got saltwater crocodiles nearby.
What do we have? I have a tinder box.
Yeah.
I've got a compass.
I've got nothing.
Great. Is everything really soggy?
Yeah, is there any firm ground for us to walk on?
Yes, it's not like you're in a bog.
Right.
It's just that the ground you're on is like you've just been washed up from the sea, so you're in the wettest bit of this swamp. But yeah, you could stand and you could be on firm ground.
No dry branches for which to make a torch to wave at them, then nothing like that.
Maybe higher up the trees.
Okay.
Or further inland.
Right.
Maybe we think they haven't seen us, so we just can move really carefully up towards the bank.
I think that's what I would
But
suggest.
as
Slow and steady.
Slow and steady as we can.
And quiet.
And keep as far away from them as possible so that we're not in biting distance.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you whisper anything to each other?
We just go like this. Hand gestures.
Pointing. Eye movements.
Just little gestures.
I'm in my element when I'm taking a massive risk.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I were to throw a bit of driftwood behind them,
Oh yes,
and
nice.
their instinct's going to be like after it, and then we can make a getaway.
Yeah. Give
Does that
ourselves a
sound
window.
good planning?
Yes.
Right, great.
Yes. Go ahead.
Massive risk. Brilliant.
Yeah, that is plus intellect and plus your element.
So plus
it's
2.
plus 2 overall.
Should I try that first before we try running? Obviously. Yeah. That would be.
Yeah, this to give us the window to move without them noticing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've dropped 1. 6, 8.
8.
Okay.
Okay, that could be worse.
Yeah. Could be better.
You avoid the danger for now.
Ooh.
Oh, they have a vendetta. Okay.
Oh boy.
I mean, they are mobile and they're not dead, so they're probably just going to still stick around this area.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. And
So-
we're not out of here yet, are
Yeah,
we?
you're not necessarily out of the woods.
Okay, so I think I let the other 2 move a little bit further behind me. I make very slow, gentle movements down, get a bit of quite soggy, quite heavy driftwood. I want to make a big splash. And I lob it as far behind them as possible with as much strength as I can. I want to make a really big distraction. And it works. The moment it hits the water, they swish their tails, turn the opposite direction, go underwater away from us. And we peg it up the hill.
Dave,
Uh-huh.
you lock eyes with the pig. It looks like if you get closer, if you make a move towards its nest, that it might defend its territory. It looks like it's assessing whether it needs to attack you or not. What do you do?
I'm going to glance at the floor and just see if there's like a big stick nearby. Because we're in like trees, aren't we? So there could be a stick on the floor.
Yeah, there could be a stick on the floor.
I'm going to pick up the stick and I'm going to poke the pig with the stick.
What is your intent with this?
Just get it out of the way.
Valid question.
Get out the way, piggy. But not hard, I'm not hurting it, I'm just poking it, saying so that it knows it needs to move.
Roll resolve.
5.
Ooh.
It's a failure.
You extend your big stick towards this pig How big are you imagining the pig? Because pigs can get pretty big.
Especially in the kind of...
Yeah.
I'm imagining it like big enough.
Yeah.
Big enough.
For what?
Yeah, like a Labrador kind of size, maybe a bit bigger.
You cautiously extend your stick towards this pig, and from behind you hear a much lower, deeper pig noise. And you are struck from behind and knocked off your feet by a rather larger pig-shaped creature, and you find yourself sprawling in among the undergrowth and roots, with the tusked face of a wild boar looking down at you. Its little beady red piggy eyes looking into yours. Take 1 harm.
Yeah.
You're going to get eaten alive by a pig.
Daddy Pig's home.
Well, I'm just going to try and roll away.
Roll plus instinct.
7.
Either take no harm, but you're still in a dangerous situation, or get out of the dangerous situation but take harm.
God's sake.
Well, I can take a harm. I'm going to take a harm and get out. So I'm down to 0, but that's not where you start colouring in yet. Or it is. Should I colour one of these in?
So, let's work this out. So you're going down to 0 morale. So pick your condition.
I think despair, because that was my first plan and it's all gone wrong. I don't like this island anymore. This holiday is terrible. So I'm going to go for some despair, please.
Okay. So you managed to roll away from the 2 pigs, the boar and the pig. You managed to get out without either of them physically injuring you. But as you stumble out of the trees back to the beach, no firewood, big setbacks, still alone, no sign of the wreck, no sign of your friends. You just collapse onto the beach, racked by despair. Team Swamp.
Yeah.
The sounds of the unfamiliar sounds of this unfamiliar environment around you are scary, and you're not sure whether you've completely lost those crocodiles yet, or whether they took the bait and then got even angrier and started chasing you. You can't tell really what is the sound of your feet crashing through the undergrowth, what is the sound of animals. What do you do?
Do you try and find something to light?
Yeah, I think
we need fire.
we need to sort of stagger to a halt
And light.
Okay, so you're searching for firewood.
So we're out of the swampiness, but everything's still a bit muddy. Does that mean we're going to have to climb up to get something dry?
You can, if you want, venture into a new kind of terrain.
I think that's probably wisest. Like, we don't want to be anywhere near the crocodiles.
Yeah. So we only stop running when we've got out of the marshy bit, and we're in more foresty area?
Yeah, I would expect lots of vegetation near something damp, right?
Yeah.
So
Do you want to fill in more of the map, or do you want to say that you head into this adjacent foresty bit that we already have?
Should we... I know we don't know he's there,
yeah,
but it would be nice if we went and rescued Dave from his sadness.
I'd like you all to.
yeah.
So I think let's go.
Yeah, we'll go that way. We'll go that way.
Do we know... Because there's not a compass point on this map we have in front of us. Do we know which way is north and which way is... I'm just making sure the compass can actually be...
You've prepared.
Yeah, I picked it and then went, is this actually going to be of any use
I really
whatsoever?
hope so.
I'll say that it'll give you a +1 to what you're doing right now, which is
trying to
some new
find
territory.
Cool.
So if you want to be the one who rolls this, it's instinct.
This is good. That means it's +2.
Yeah.
That is a 9.
One of these options, you find firewood, but I'll tell you there's a danger in the way.
Classic.
Bloody pigs!
I told you this game escalated fast.
It really does. Okay.
Or you don't find firewood, but you find a mystery instead.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Find a mystery.
Yes, come on.
All right. What kind of mystery would you like?
Oh my god, there's a
Oh, we get to choose.
A delicious one.
A vision.
As you're heading through the trees looking for a good source of firewood, and you're just not finding anything right now, like all of the wood is too green, none of it's going to burn the way that you need it to, there's not enough like little bits of kindling, getting frustrated when Alex, you look up, perhaps scanning the sky to check what the weather's going to be doing, to see whether you're in danger of because it's lightly drizzling at the moment, but whether you're in danger of the storm picking back up again. You see through the trees a red glow, and that red glow grows in intensity and then shoots upwards in a plume of red smoke with a shining red light at the top.
It's a flare.
And something in the back of your head just twinges, and you're like, Dave and signal flares, and this... something is adding up.
Yeah, it's one of those things you kind of correlate, but there's no real necessarily.
But then when you actually think about it intellectually, you're like, no, I've never seen Dave shoot off a signal flare.
Do the other guys see the flare as well, or is it?
I think.
Yeah, we've all seen it. Right.
Yeah, okay. Let's head towards the flare. We've got to head towards the flare.
Right, cool. Sure. Great, let's go. Don't know who sent it off, but fine.
Let's go. I would love to relentlessly pursue this mystery and get a +1 to all my rolls.
You head through the forest as a little trio in the direction of where the mysterious flare seems to have come from, and you emerge out of the tree line onto a beach, and you find the hunched form of Dave.
Softly weeping.
Are you weeping? What sort of state are you in, Dave?
Not a good one. Yeah, despair's pretty bad, isn't it? It's, I'm always curled up in a ball.
Oh.
So he's still, and
You only faced a pig, we got crocodiles.
Yeah.
You had friends.
So when you see him on the beach, you're not sure. Like in the dim light, he's hunched there, kind of facing the water. You're not even sure that he's still breathing.
Oh, God.
Welcome one and all to Merely Roleplayers. I hope you're enjoying Act 2 of Prospero and Viola. It's me, Matt, your host and island avatar, with some programme notes for you. I know you wouldn't normally read the programme halfway through an act of the show, but hey, we're redefining what theatre is here. Let's establish some new conventions. If you nominated Merely Roleplayers for the Discover Pods Awards, thank you so much. We're all waiting excitedly to see if we made the shortlist. We should know by next story act. More importantly, or at least more urgently, if you haven't voted in the Audioverse Awards yet, first of all, I don't blame you. That form is a marathon. But if you do want to make sure the awards recognise your favourite audio fiction podcasts, you can only put off tackling the Enormo form until the 31st of October, which is when voting closes. You only have to choose one nominee in each category, though it does help the nominees if you take the time to rank at least a few faves. If you're looking for us, we're on the list in the improvised production category and the player director in an improvised production category. There's a link to the voting form in the notes for this episode. We've got some other dates coming up where you can see some of the faces that go with our voices if you feel like doing that. I'm going to be at Adventure X at the British Library the weekend of the 2nd and 3rd of November, probably mostly sitting, staring wide-eyed at talks and trying to gauge where my understanding of game design is at compared to the best in the business. And Alex, who you've just heard having a mysterious vision of a signal flare on a deserted island, you might not know this, but Alex is just starting out as a stand-up, and he's got some gigs coming up soon. If you want to hear the sorts of things he comes out with when he hasn't got me telling him what to do, you can find all his dates on his website, alexanderpankhurst.co.uk. Finally, Natalie, who you heard last episode narrowly escaping a watery cave, has a new podcast you should give a listen. It's called the Ragged Scratch Podcast, and it's a new writing night type programme specifically for work-in-progress audio drama. Each episode, you get 2 short pieces of audio drama and interviews with the writers. The format really works, and I'm finding that it really does recreate the feeling of going to a new writing night and feeling the potential of all those pieces that are still settling into their final shape. Blackshaw Theatre's run a lot of new writing nights, and a not insignificant number of the pieces ended up turning into full productions. And I really hope that's the case with the Ragged Scratch as well, and I'm not just saying that because it's got some of my work in it. The episode of Ragged Scratch coming out on Thursday the 24th of October includes a monologue I wrote called Your Benevolence, which might turn into the foundation of a new scripted microdrama podcast if I still like the words when I hear them in my headphones. I'll hand you over to Natalie to give you the full details now, and then we're winding back the clock a year to rejoin her and the rest of the survivors of the Prospero. See you back on the island.
Welcome to the Ragged Scratch Podcast, the new writing night in podcast form. We're a little rough around the edges, you won't find any glossy, high production value epics here, but we're committed to telling a diverse and eclectic range of stories, putting the writing first. Here's a sneak peek of what's coming up in Season 1.
I know everything about the tape, the photos. Tonight, 11 o'clock, alone.
They're not even saying why they arrested her. They can't even be bothered to try and make it seem legitimate.
When was the last time you felt God?
Last night. Someone was on their knees.
The baby's crying again. Not Billy. The other one. The hiccup.
So, Josh and Strat, as you realise that this beach is not a safe place to stay in the burning sun, what do you do?
I guess we should head inland.
I think so. We need some shade, I think.
Well, I say so. The three. Shelter. Sustenance.
Yes.
Shit-faced.
Shit-faced.
So we do shelter first.
Yes.
So let's get off the beach. And as I'm talking to him, the sun glints off of my sequiny vest and sort of dance across your face. Unintentionally, of course. And I say, so maybe we should head up into some woods or some forest or something.
I think that sounds... anything with canopy.
Yeah. Did you bring anything with you?
I pat down the pockets.
No doves up your sleeves?
If they were, I didn't. Lots of wet. My rabbit, oh no.
You definitely find a few soggy, pulpy playing cards.
Yeah.
A couple of coins.
Yeah,
I knew they were up your sleeve all along. You're good though. You're good.
Thank you.
Does he have the chain of handkerchiefs?
No one does that trick anymore.
Could have been useful.
It's a little contrived, so it's better we don't go that way.
So, as you push into unknown territory in search of shelter, whoever is leading this, please roll instinct.
I'll go ahead. I think I've got this.
Go for it.
It's an 8. We're going to find what we're looking for, but there's going to be a danger.
We should start filling in the map.
Sure thing.
We know we have a narrow sandy beach where you two washed up.
Okay, I'm going to start at the bottom.
Yeah, and adjacent to that, some rocky cliffs and a cave. So you do find shelter. So tell me what the shelter looks like, first of all. Heading into, you said, a wooded area?
Yeah, we were looking at wooded area. So I think perhaps seeing as we're right on the coast, which is going to bear the brunt of a lot of the weather perhaps that's coming in, like storms and winds and stuff, we maybe find a load of trees that have kind of like... You know how they collapse and kind of fall onto each other? So something that under the canopy, so it's not like a cave of wood and stuff, but something that maybe we could use as the foundation of something, or at least something temporary until we find something maybe a little bit more.
But light still falls.
Yeah, exactly. But we're out of the sun, and there's a semblance of shelter.
And we're thinking like tropical palms and stuff rather than pines and evergreens.
Apparently, it's nice kind of crystal blue ocean and sun, so I think we're somewhere tropical by the sounds of it.
We're not off the south coast of England.
No,
we don't think.
No, we haven't washed.
We're not on the Isle of Wight.
Yeah, you see Brighton Pier.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah,
great.
Okay, so you find this sort of set of collapsed trees that form some sort of temporary bivouac that you might be able to reinforce. However, as you approach, you get a whiff on the air of something living, something animal, and you realise that there is something else on this island has already decided to set up shop and call this little area home. You're not sure what it is yet, but there is some form of life in this potential shelter that you're going to have to deal with before you can use it yourselves.
Okay. Right, so we've stumbled upon a nest of some description.
Yeah, so...
Great. Oh, shh. Tap, 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 tap. It's alright, we're on set. Oh, yes, of course.
But as you are realising that you need to be quiet, there is a commotion behind you as two wet, scared, demoralised people wash up.
Scary monster.
Over there.
Oh. Glad to see you've survived, though. How's Clive? Is he... I don't think it's good news. I actually preferred Clive. I'm so sorry.
That's awful. Where's this nest?
We point over there.
Luckily, I was a trainee vet back in the day, but I wasn't very good. But I'll give it a go.
Is the thing there right now?
I walk melancholy towards the nest.
Chris, please be careful.
I've saved Natalie. I've got nothing else to live for.
Oh God!
I sort of run up to him as quietly as I can do and just hand him the bottle of rum.
Yeah. Why
drink some of it.
Let me have a look first. All right. Let me have a look and see if there's any signs of anything first.
Take the ball back. That's enough. Come on, we need to preserve this.
Process this whole moment later. I'm gonna try and follow the tracks and see what's there.
Sure. Okay. I believe that's an instinct roll for you.
That is. Oh
dear.
God. That's a snake, guys.
It's a snake.
It's a snake.
You want a snake? I'm giving you a snake.
Oh no. Oh, okay.
Oh God.
So as
Why is it always snakes?
as Nat approaches the nest, keeping her eye to the ground, looking out for signs of paw prints in the soil of this wooded area, looking for signs of scratch marks on trees. She's too intent on looking for those sorts of things to notice, woken up by this commotion, emerging into the sunlight out of that nest of trees, a number of lime green and orange striped snakes around
sound nasty
around the thickness of your forearm, and they begin to taste the air and to swarm towards the four of you.
Okay.
I'd take a step forwards and I say, "Strangers on the beach, enchanted strangers, lovers out of reach. What were the dangers? We'll be facing snakes before the night was through. Strangers on the beach," and I go on like that.
Roll instinct.
Have I got my element here? Because I'm trying to calm the snakes down.
Yeah, so instinct and an extra +1.
Oh, mother. That's good. That is a 5, 6. No, 7.
Okay.
No, hang on.
Can I roll to
What's
help?
the 6, 7, 8? 8! Mixed success.
So I run forward, I rip off my sequined vest, revealing my some
tap dancer's
physique and my perma-tan torso. And I'm just going to sort of shake the sequins, and I'm aware that snakes sort of have kind of look for shiny things or things that are moving. I'm trying to distract as many of them as I can, and I will toss it in their direction in an attempt to sort of direct them, not at Chris.
Okay, roll plus your morale.
So that is 2, and I'm rolling in the tower again. +2, that is a 10.
Okay.
Dead on.
So, Chris, you take +2 to that roll.
So that's a 10?
Help, which means that, success on this means they're not going to attack you unless you attack them first.
Sure. I sort of have my hands up. I say, I think we should maybe find somewhere else, possibly. This looks to be a snaky area.
Can you reach my vest?
I gingerly reach down to pluck at the vest.
You manage to pick up the vest. The snakes seem calmed by your crooning. They no longer seem aggressive. In fact, now that they're in the sunlight, they seem content to just sort of bask in it.
Oh.
And I just sort of hum sunshine lollipops.
With them nullified in this area where it was kind of things falling down and whatnot, are there like loose branches and palm fronds and things that I can collect from this that we can take away with us, borrow from the snakes.
I don't see
and make something elsewhere.
Borrow from the
We'll bring it back!
We don't plan to be here forever.
Yes, I think you can get some wood and fronds and that kind of thing.
Can we get some vines? Some thick vines?
Make sure it's not a snake.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Some thick, only green vines?
Yes, I think so. You can get some materials.
Excellent. I think we should go a decent way away from the snakes.
Agreed.
Yes.
So we can't kind of see them sort of distance.
Should we work our way along the coast, away from the rocky bluffs, but stay inland? Try and find another...
Perhaps.
Yes.
My only thought is there was a lot of salvage out where we were. If we find somewhere safe here and stick around, maybe we can salvage some stuff from out there. If we go too far out, maybe we don't find our way back and we lose... Like there's stuff out there that might be useful.
Is it worth us leaving a trail? Has anybody got any...
That's a very good idea.
A ball of yarn or any sweeties that we can throw down? Any breadcrumbs?
You have this very fetching reflective jacket.
Thank you. I saw the sequins on my...
If we cut it up into smaller reflective bits, we can leave them because with the sunlight they're going to be easy to spot because they're going to be very out of place.
Do we want to maybe keep it though, just in case that's going to be useful for signalling, right? If we're going to
I like that. Let's keep it. It's my only one.
Okay then.
But also signalling.
Or we could maybe take a few sequins off like the front strip.
You should both know you never take sequins off a dancer's waistcoat. Ever.
No, you might as well ask me to give up my soul.
I'm sure there are other ways of marking our progress.
Yeah.
Well, I guess really we can just say if the sea is on our right and we just follow around, and the sea is on our left and we follow, so we can do that.
I just wanted to, could I possibly, I know I rolled terribly to escape the ship, but could I roll to see if retcon before things went bad, I happened to have a bag of reward stars in my pocket?
I'm afraid you didn't.
Okay.
You didn't manage to seize anything useful from the ship.
As in, it was already there before things went bad, but okay,
not.
fair enough.
You thought you did, but somewhere in the chaos it popped out of your pocket and it's somewhere
Fish
in
stole
the...
my stars.
Yeah.
That would have been an amazing morale boost.
There's a school of fish somewhere. Or
Stick for you. You did really well with those snakes. Have 2 stickers.
So should we just try and find a clearing not so far from here, where there are no snakes? Sort of, it's clear rather than there being bushes and ferns and stuff that the snakes could hide in.
Yeah.
And set up camp.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Just a little bit off the beach, perhaps.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Can everyone help me take all this stuff, please? It's quite heavy.
Yes.
Of course, I try.
Yeah.
Take the vines, Chris.
I'll take 1 vine.
I'll pass the rest of it.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Over the shoulder.
Yeah.
Right.
So you head further into unknown territory in search of a clearing where you can build your shelter. So somebody please roll instinct.
Should this be the person who's leading?
Yeah,
the
whoever
way?
is in charge of the activity.
It was kind of me, yeah.
Do we all help though? Do we help after the roll?
Yeah, you can look at the roll before you decide.
That's an 8, so another mixed.
We've got to find home, haven't we? But
You could always take the mystery option rather than the danger option. Speaking.
Yeah, I'm going to take a mystery.
Cool.
Let's do a mystery.
Sure.
Lead on.
Let's get our mystery on.
The Great Strat.
So you go into we'll keep the terrain as you find a clearing in the woods. What kind of mystery would you like?
Creature, vision, artifact, structure, phenomenon. I tell you what, let's find a structure.
Nice. Strat, you lead your fellow survivors through these woods, through the passing palm trees, lifting your feet high as you go through tugging undergrowth. You can hear the sounds of strange animals in the branches, and after a little bit, you come out of the tree line and into a sheltered clearing, and you're immediately taken aback at something that seems impossible. In this clearing, tipped up on sort of a rocky formation that's coming up out of the ground, is what looks like an oldie-timey paddle steamer.
Love it.
And it's heavily overgrown by vines, and it looks like there's probably things living in it. And it looks like it's been here since the days of the Old West. And somewhere in the back of your mind, there you have a weird, like a chime of recognition.
Oh, no, I know what this is.
And for a moment, you feel regret, shame, all sorts of strange associated emotions. And then immediately you're like, this is definitely weird, but I've never seen it before.
No, you're mad.
But it looks...
You clever bastard.
It looks mostly intact, and it looks like the at least the top deck seems to be... There's some vines growing through bits of it, but it would provide shelter from the sun.
Cool.
So you say it's sort of upended at a sort of like 45 degree angle?
Not quite 45 degrees, but definitely like the stern is at ground level, and the bow is sort of pointing towards the sky to some extent.
As a non-sky pirate, the bow is the back of it.
The bow is the front. The bow is the pointy bit at the front. The stern is the flat bit at the back, and you can see the two great big red paddle wheels, one on either side.
Can we maybe... The big paddle wheels, are they providing shade? Perhaps we could use that as a roof, maybe, and kind of
like
at least get out.
When we get inside
deck
the boat,
seems to be intact.
Oh, we can get. We're okay with getting up to it. Okay, we should.
Let's definitely go and explore it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are we all just like we nearly just drowned, right? Starkey has possibly lost the love of his life. There were snakes, and now that where has this come from? I'm sorry. Does anyone else think this is not real? Right? This is some kind of really big, weird something. There's cameras or something. This is not right.
I see her panicking, and I pass her the bottle of rum.
Okay. This has been helpful for me up until now.
I take some of the rum.
The rum helps.
the rum only numbs, yeah.
Nat, would you like to roll Resolve to see if you can wrap your head around this mystery?
Okay, I'm worried about what's going to go wrong if I roll bad. That's a 7. Minus 1, so it's a 6.
Ooh. Can we help her to make it not a fail?
I don't really know how I could help you comprehend. Wrap your brain around it. Sorry.
Go on, Matt. Hit me.
As you take in this impossible sight, and as in the back of like your brain is just roiling with thoughts of this cannot be here. How could this possibly have got here? What is this? Why did Strat react so weirdly to it? It's almost like your disbelief is actually affecting it, and parts of the bow start to ripple and crumble, and a good half of the front of the ship disintegrates.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
And we all see this.
I do believe in fairies.
We all see it. Oh, sorry, that was in her mind.
I do believe in fairies.
Take a few steps backwards. Is it still disintegrating, or does it just stop?
It stops about halfway as Nat kind of freezes, so it could still provide some shelter, but it's not as enclosed as it once was.
I need to put that in my act.
Natalie?
Yeah?
Just get your shit together, kid. I'd like to try and get her shit together. Try and boost her morale a bit, maybe, or something.
So, do you want to add anything to how you do that other than
I'm going to sing her a song.
This is
I'm going to sing her a little song.
Oh, God.
That's life. That's what all the people say. Get shipwrecked in April. Find a great big ship in May. No, I don't know if I had to roll for that. What did I roll?
It's plus your current morale.
Oh, that's a 9.
Nat, you gain 1 morale back.
Okay, well, that's something. You can shut up now, Starkey. Thanks.
Well, nice to be appreciated. That's some of the nicer comments I've had for a while.
You have a beautiful singing voice.
You do. I'm sorry.
It was great.
I'm under duress. I apologise. It was rude.
Yes, it was.
Although we still aren't left with the problem of the disintegrating paddle steamer.
Yes. That is a slight concern. I still want to explore it.
No, I think we should, and hopefully now that half of it is missing, can I go around and look through the half that's missing and kind of You know, like in theatre where you've got that, you see into a house, and it's chopped down the middle and you can just see all the house. Is it like that?
It's a bit difficult because it's because of the angle that it's at. You're on ground level and the open part is sort of pointing up towards the sky.
Right.
So you can see kind of, as you go around the front end, you can see sort of the top deck, the underside of the top deck. You can see half of the steam chimney funnel that has whatever's intact of that.
Before we go in, I want to be able to kind of survey. Is there a tree I can try and shimmy up to get a better look in to survey what is actually inside?
Yes, there is.
What would you like me to do to find out if I fall on my bum?
I'd like you to roll instinct.
Can I go with him and sort of stand underneath him, help him with his footing initially and perhaps break his fall?
Sure. See how he rolls and see whether that can carry.
That's a 6, so any help you can provide would at least stop me. Well, or I could fail and level up.
Is that
in your hands?
Is that all that's going to happen? Well, I obviously, in character, I'm not just going to step aside as you fall down. So I'm going to attempt to sort of put my hands up in an attempt to break the fall as much as I can do. Strike a pose. I grin.
Can I throw my palm fronds and stuff underneath to soften the blow of the fall?
Well, this is assuming it's a fall at the moment because we haven't worked out what the failure is. So really, you're seeing if you want to help me not fail to begin with. I think
absolutely, yeah.
So it's more helping him climb.
Yeah.
So I give him a foot up,
or climbing up with him and also taking a look. Either one of those would work.
I'm going to give him a foot up and then slowly start to ascend just behind him in an attempt to sort of bolster him.
Yeah. Okay, roll your current morale.
Double sixes.
-2. Okay, yeah, so Strat gets +2.
So that brings me up to an 8.
An 8, okay. Ask one question off the listen to your instincts list.
What approaching danger should we be anticipating from this?
I think... So you climb the tree and you look down into the structure of the steamer and you can see that it's overgrown inside and... The structural integrity of it might not be totally sound, but it does look like it would provide shelter. In terms of approaching dangers, it's not from inside the steamer. From your higher vantage point, you can see, not terribly far away, is a rock formation that... How hard do I want to go with this?
Give it to us, Matt.
Come on, we can take it.
You climb and your head emerges from the canopy.
Yeah.
And you see something you couldn't see through the tree line before from ground level. You see that only about maybe a couple of kilometres away, around the centre of the island, you see a black peak.
Oh no.
And from its summit you see... black smoke, and the bottom of the plume of black smoke is lit red, and you can see that this island appears to be volcanic.
Oh no.
You've been listening to Merely Roleplayers. In this season, Vikki, Dave, Ellen, Alex, Nat, Strat, Starkey and Josh all play themselves, sort of, in a game designed and run by Matt. Like most of our games, this one's powered by the apocalypse. You can find more games in this genre at apocalypse-world.com/pbta. If you enjoy the programme, let us know with a review or rating on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Listen Notes, or wherever you do your listening. You can also find us on Twitter at Merely Roleplay and at facebook.com/Merely Roleplayers. Merely Roleplayers is an independent production in association with Blackshaw Theatre Company. Join us for more drama next episode.
Phenomenon. Thank you.